We are going to help a lot of people with this aging process, and they don't generally want to be helped.
This is true.
Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast, where Keith and Doug give no-nonsense advice to level up your life. So buckle up and listen closely to Up Your Average.
So we put this spreadsheet together to help families be above average on these things. And it's such a difficult conversation that I think most people just don't even have that conversation. So things start happening and rolling downhill in a very almost catastrophic manner. And so this is a template that Gimbal has put together for our clients, and it's organized in a way to help families start thinking better about how to help other family members.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we have here is it's a template that we can share with our clients. And then we've put 2025, 2026 onto 2029. And they could then, when they have it in their own Google files, they can upload all the junk they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get medical files and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing you've probably experienced that as you've helped family members. There's mail and things that come in, and trying to organize, that's very difficult. So then you can go into the 2025, and I think you just simply right click and you can put a new folder. So you can put a new folder on doctor information or medical information or medicine information. And then you could just, the clients could scan that in there and then get rid of the paper file so they just don't clutter their house. And then they've got access to it if they need it. And this is a tool that I used with my mom trying to help organize her stuff. And so that gives them a place to put stuff going forward and clean out the physical clutter. Mm-hmm. We put in here Alzheimer tips and strategies, a pocket reference guide. When somebody's struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's, they have difficulty communicating, the elderly person as well as the younger person, and there can be conflict. I don't know. Have you had any of the dementia stuff that you've had to help people with yet?
Yes. In my direct family, we do.
Yeah.
So we've been just working through that just over the last year or so, just uncovering what that means. And
yeah, there's a big temptation to correct somebody when they're doing that. And I discovered early on that the dementia Alzheimer patient is literally like living on another planet. And even though they know the English language, their brain is not functioning in that way. And trying to have a logical conversation can create unnecessary stress. And so that's what this pocket guide thing is. It gives you just conversation, how to communicate better without conflict.
That's nice.
And then a lot of times that's created by the diabetes, and that's just a summary of some ideas from that. And then what we would do with my mom is we would interview her and have conversations, and then put the stuff we learned in there, in that grandma's stories in there to store for her.
That's nice.
And so that by reframing the situation, you can do some productive things. And so that's all of those things. And then this was the key tool that I think our clients can benefit from. It's a spreadsheet that is kind of anal for a spreadsheet person like myself. But what I discovered is if you don't journal these events, you don't really know how bad things are getting, particularly with Alzheimer's or dementia, because you don't remember how fast they're repeating things.
Yeah.
And so what I did with my mom is I put mom is repeating herself every day. And I put the date there. And then a few months later, mom's repeating herself 5 times daily. And then that would have been on the journal of events. And so what that did is help me remember where we were 6 months ago, a year ago. And then that would be helpful as the family member is working with an elder care physician or somebody like that to help with that.
That would be very helpful. Yeah. We have with my family like a mini version of this, but it's really more the practical, medical, financial things. And I think documenting this category would be helpful too.
And the other thing is right up here, our clients can go up there and share with whoever they want. And like you click the share button and this right now is just shared with Caleb and me because we put this together as a starter point for our clients to share this with them. And so what we did then is shared it with both my siblings. And so I didn't have to call them every time something happened. Yeah. They just had to go on this document and click on it and they could read the latest things. Mom moved in with us, so that's why I put in, whatever your journal is going to be unique, but I just said Mom moved in 10/50/25. And then you would just start, I would put the most recent things on top.
Okay.
Then we had to then help take over her finances, and I would delegate to my siblings' activities. And if they had to pay for something, I didn't want to just send them checks every day. So we would write where expenses were at and what. So when those expenses occurred, here's one, 12/8/2014 that they had to come and stay at a hotel. So we put that in there. And then once that was reimbursed, I would just go in there and highlight green, meaning it was paid.
Okay.
And so that was just an easy way. I mean, there were thousands of dollars we had to monitor, and it was just an easy way to not get stressed out by that. Then there were consultants that we had to hire, and this is kind of what your strong suit will be helping our clients figure this out. And we would put their name in their contact information. And so, if I was out of town and couldn't address the issue, then one of the other people that this document was shared with could know all those people, and they would have the history right there while they're with the doctor.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
And then stuff to do is an ongoing challenge. Like one of the ones left in here was determine when Mom moved from Evansville to Indianapolis area, we had to determine which hospital system to plug her into. And so this category of things to do was health, facility, like where's she living, possessions, her house, what are we going to do with her house, financial, and then other to-dos. It just gave us a place. When we identified those things, we put a date in there. Then we would just put a summary of it. Then this would be delegated to whoever's going to do it. And then the completed date. And then we would keep adding to that. And then I put this from Stephen Covey over here, was a system he used to try to manage life more appropriately, like what's urgent and not urgent, what's important and not important. And we wanted to stay over here in this not urgent but important category so that our hair wasn't burning all the time. If you stay helping the elderly over here in this quadrant 1, it gets really stressful and your health is going to go at a cost. So we tried to avoid that category as much as possible. And that's what this whole kind of outline was designed to help people with.
Okay.
Then we had some reminders for Mom that she's loved. And then the things that she would say that were problems with her, like concerns, we would just put those reminders and then be sure to remind her of those. And then when I showed you the story about Grandma, over here, Grandma's stories, we had a list of questions should we ask her in the spreadsheet. And so that would...
I really like that.
Yeah, that would really help build Grandma's story there. It can be Grandpa too. I'm not biased. So I'm not sexist in case you're watching this. And then we had amazing provisions, things that we couldn't explain. And we listed all those because this is a stressful process. And if you take the time to be thankful for what's happened, it takes some of the pressure off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then a list of things I've learned, and I learned a ton. And then those are things that we can help other clients and friends with, the things that we've learned.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know till you get caught up in this, and it can be very stressful. And then one of the final things this did was just allowed a list of possessions. I forget what the book is. Nobody Wants Your Stuff or something like that. That's out there now that us baby boomers and older don't realize that nobody wants our stuff. And so they don't want to know it, but you want to give people a chance to grab that stuff if they do.
So this is like siblings and family members who say something that they would like that would be meaningful to them?
The elderly person. So that's that category, Mom's wishes, right? And somebody else who might just designate it. So if Mom says, I want him to have welding stuff, then he gets the welding stuff, right? And Chris must have said that he wanted to water crystal glassware. And so it could be either way.
Okay.
Yeah, because once things turn even worse and you got to get rid of stuff, that can be overwhelming if you haven't already identified the things that need to be kept. And then we've got a podcast out there that we've talked with an auctioneer about how to take it from the point that we've already addressed all these things to helping them get rid of everything at that point, because that's the next step after you've identified the things that the family actually wants.
Okay.
That's this cleanup template. I think it's a helpful tool for our clients. And so any of you that have questions or like a copy of this, Libbi is the guru.